Hello and welcome everyone to the Environment Primer series of Drishti IAS English. My name is Pragya. In today's very interesting episode of Environment Primer, we are going to discuss about a very curious case that is being happening in the United States of America. So in the USA, a Californian man is accused of smuggling, and smuggling not of something that is illegal, not of illegal weapons, but smuggling of greenhouse gases. So we are going to cover this case in detail in our today's session. The title of our today's session is Smuggling of Greenhouse Gases. So in this discussion, we are firstly going to study about what is the man accused of doing? What was his act that attracted the charges of smuggling? Then we are also going to understand what were these banned refrigerants. Then we are also going to examine what action have countries taken to address the impact of these refrigerants. Then we are also going to see what does the US law say about HCFCs and the HFCs. And lastly, we are going to discuss some of the important questions from the perspective of your prelims examination and a question for your mains examination. So if I talk about the background of our today's topic or the news, so as I said that a man from California is being prosecuted in the San Diego court for smuggling of illegally banned two types of refrigerants. Okay, so this is the very first time that the US Department of Justice is taking such an action, is prosecuting someone for damaging the environment. And the US Department of Justice has made it clear that they will do anything to protect the environment and they will take legal actions, and these legal actions could also include criminal prosecutions. So this is a very interesting case that is happening in the United States of America. So this brings us to the important point of our today's discussion, that what exactly this man was doing that made him liable for the act of smuggling. So see, this man was transferring two illegal refrigerants from Mexico to USA in his car. So he was transferring illegally two banned refrigerants in the USA from Mexico to the USA in his car. And these refrigerants are used in old ACs and appliances. And that is why this act of him had got the Department of Justice's eye, and he was now liable for smuggling. Okay. He then sold the refrigerants online at marketplaces such as OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace. So he was not only illegally transporting them, he was also selling them on the online marketplaces. And he has confessed that yes, he has sold almost dozens of canisters of these banned refrigerants. So just imagine he was illegally transferring these banned refrigerants from Mexico to USA in his car, and this act of his made him liable for the offense of smuggling. Moving forward. So what were these banned refrigerants that he is accused of smuggling? So they include the HFCs, also known as the hydrofluorocarbons, and a form of hydrochlorofluorocarbons known as HCFC22. So both of these refrigerants are banned in the USA. And these refrigerants are released into the atmosphere by damaged appliances or car ACs. And 90% of refrigerant emissions are estimated to occur when equipments reach their end of life and are improperly disposed of. So see, these HFCs and HCFCs, are used as a substitute of chlorofluorocarbons, because with chlorofluorocarbons in 1985 we realized that they were causing the depletion of ozone layer over Antarctica and hence forming an ozone hole. So we brought HFCs and HCFCs as a substitute for chlorofluorocarbons. But the scientists are now realizing this fact that yes, they cause global warming and they are very harmful for the warming of our environment. Moving forward. Now let us understand what is the action taken by countries to limit the impact of HFCs and HCFCs. So the Montreal Protocol, signed in 1987 by nearly 200 countries, aimed to halt the production and uses of ozone depleting substances including the chlorofluorocarbons. So it talks about phasing out of CFCs. Because I said that yes, in 1985 we realized that yes, CFCs are the most important cause of the depletion of ozone layer, and that is why we got very serious about the impact of CFCs. Initially, countries were to eliminate CFCs by 1996 and HCFCs by 2030, with HCFCs serving as a temporary alternative due to their lesser impact on the ozone layer. But with time we have realized that yes, it is causing greenhouse gas emission and it is warming up in the planet in that manner, okay, by causing more greenhouse gas emissions. Moving forward. However, the transition led to the widespread adoption of HFCs, which have no ozone depleting potential, but as I have said that yes, they can cause more harm than the carbon dioxide. They can cause more greenhouse gas emissions, and that is why now we are trying to phase out even the HCFCs. Moving forward, according to a report by the Climate and Clean Air Coalition, HFCs even in small quantities significantly contribute to near-term warming, as greenhouse gases being hundreds to 1,000 times more potent than the carbon dioxide per unit of mass. So they are even lethal than the carbon dioxide emissions. And in 2016, we took cognizance of this fact and we signed the Kigali Agreement to the Montreal Protocol, committing to reduce the consumption of HFCs by 80% by 2047. So this Kigali Amendment was specifically signed to keep in mind the harmful impacts of these HFCs and the HCFCs. Moving forward. Successful implementation of the Kigali Amendment could prevent more than 0.4 degrees Celsius of global warming by the year 2100. So, we are trying to achieve this 1.5 degrees Celsius target, okay, which I talk about again and again whenever I discuss the Paris Agreement or climate change. So, we are trying to limit the global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius below the pre-industrial times. Okay, so ideally it should be 2 degrees Celsius. We are trying to reduce it to 2 degrees Celsius, but we have kept our target to 1.5 degrees Celsius. The Kigali Amendment is a part of efforts by international bodies like the CCAC to mitigate powerful but short-lived climate pollutants including methane, black carbon, HFCs and tropospheric ozone. So all of these contribute to the greenhouse gas emission, greenhouse gas effect, and that is why they are so lethal for having our warming of our planet, okay. So they are potent greenhouse gases which in turn lead to the global warming. Moving forward. Let us understand what does the US law says about HCFCs and HFCs. So US is a signatory to Montreal Protocol, and this Montreal Protocol has been adopted under US law in 1990 through an amendment to the Clean Air Act, which regulates air emissions from various sources. So this HCFC 22, okay, which the man is accused of illegally smuggling to the US, is identified as an ozone depleting substance and was included in this addition to the Clean Air Act. That means it is completely banned in the United States of America. So since 2020, the US has prohibited the import of HCFC 22 for any purpose except when it undergoes transformation or destruction. So as we all know that yes, it is being used in the appliances and ACs, old car ACs. So unless and until it is going in a transformative stage, when we discard these old appliances, it is completely prohibited in the United States of America. Moving forward, the American Innovation and Manufacturing AIM Act, enacted by the Congress in December 2020, impart the Environmental Protection Agency EPA to phase down the production and use of various forms of HFCs. And effective from January 1, 2022, the importation of regulated HFCs into the US in bulk requires the permission from the EPA. So see, the developed countries are now more cautious and serious about mitigation of these greenhouse gas emissions, and that is why they are resorting to prosecutions as well. They are resorting to taking legal actions as well, okay? And legal action in itself includes criminal prosecution. So this is the very first time that this man is being prosecuted for illegal smuggling of greenhouse gases. But this is not the last time, as has been said by the Department of Justice, that they will ensure that yes, whoever is trying to do that, they will be legally prosecuted. The US Immigration and Custom Enforcement emphasized that it is unlawful to sell or distribute illegally imported regulated HFCs. So basically they are saying that no, we are not going to allow it, okay, and we are going to prosecute anyone who is trying to do that. So what will eventually happen with this man? With the current sentence or the current charges that he is facing, he is liable to face 20 years in imprisonment. So see, the imprisonment is very stringent in nature, 20 years, and he is also liable to the fine to the tune of around $25,000. So yes, there is a very stringent punishment, okay, and the fine is also a very huge amount. So yes, if he is proven that, if it is proven that yes, he was illegally smuggling the greenhouse gases from Mexico to the USA, definitely this is the very stringent punishment that he is going to face. So with this, we come to a conclusion of our today's discussion. We have seen that what was the curious case that is happening in the United States of America. We have understood about the HFCs and HCFCs. We have also seen what agreements are being signed internationally to phase out the production of HFCs and HCFCs. The Montreal Protocol and the Kigali Amendment are important in this regard. Then we are also understood that yes, what the US law says about the HFCs and the HCFCs, and we have understood this case in the detail. Now let us discuss the previous practice question which I asked in my previous session. So the question was, consider the following statements. Your statement number 1 was, the Palamu Tiger Reserve is one of the 9 original tiger reserves in Jharkhand, India, and the only one in this state. And your statement number 2 was, the reserve is very rich in minerals like bauxite and coal. So which of these statements given above are correct? Your options were, option A was 1 only, option B was 2 only, option C was both 1 and 2, and option D was none of the above. So a correct answer definitely is going to be option C. Both 1 and 2 statements are correct, and if you did not know the correct answer, kindly watch the previous video. Moving forward to the discussion of our questions from today's session. So the question is, the key initiative to curb greenhouse gas emission includes number A, Kyoto Protocol, number B, Paris Agreement, number C, International Solar Alliance, and option D, all of the above. So your correct answer is going to be all of the above. So basically Kyoto Protocol, Paris Agreement and International Solar Alliance. All of these deals with the curbing of greenhouse gas emissions. Moving forward. The question is, greenhouse gas effect is the process. Option A, to obtain a suitable temperature for plantation. Option B, of heating the atmosphere by absorption of infrared radiations by atmospheric carbon dioxide. Option C, by which barren mountain changes into the green, and option D is in which deep water seems green. So definitely you can guess that yes, option B is your correct answer. Of heating the atmosphere by absorption of infrared radiation by atmospheric carbon dioxide. And this is known as greenhouse effect. Moving forward. Consider the following statements. So statement number 1 is, Kyoto Protocol came into force in the year 2005. Statement number 2, Kyoto Protocol deals primarily with the depletion of the ozone layer. Your statement number 3 is, methane as a greenhouse gas is more harmful than carbon dioxide. So which of these statements given above are correct? Your options are, option A is 1 and 2, option B is 1 and 3, option C is 1 only, and option D is 3 only. And this answer will be given by you to me in the comment box below. Now let us discuss a practice question for your mains examination. So the question is, discuss global warming and mention its effects on the global climate. Explain the control measures to bring down the level of greenhouse gases which cause global warming in the light of the Kyoto Protocol 1997. So in the introduction, you will mention about the greenhouse gas effect. Okay. Then you will write about what are the damages that is being caused by the greenhouse gas emissions. In the body, you will mention about the Kyoto Protocol, and you will mention that yes, Kyoto Protocol has now been replaced by the Paris Agreement. And in the conclusion, you can write about various global as well as Indian initiatives that are there to deal with the greenhouse gas emissions, and you can conclude very holistically. I hope this session was insightful for you. If you have any feedback regarding this session, you can drop it in the comment box below. If you liked today's discussion and found it to be helpful, kindly like the video and subscribe to our channel for more such interesting updates. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.